The national debt just steadily keeps growing, right? And that's falling on the backs of the poor. It sure isn't the multi-billionaires paying it, obviously. By empirical evidence, you see that. And this is how they get away with dubious warfare, war for profit, wag the dog kind of thing. So please explain this to people, how immoral this is and how it's math. So even, let's say the cost of living stayed steady since they assassinated JFK, okay? Then your wages went down because that's what you got here. So you can say, well, wait, they've given pay adjustments to minimum wage workers. Yes, but they give this much pay adjustment, but your cost of living went up this much. And that's steadily been the case. You understand? So it's like you're running in the sand and they keep pouring more and more in to make sure you're going backwards and stay poor. So we got to make the social welfare system relevant because people just can't make ends meet anymore. Got to spend $50 billion a year on Section 8 housing for those that can't afford to pay their housing costs. And tell people, well, yeah, we got to rent. We can't buy these people houses. That'd be too liberal. Then you realize it would be really fiscally very conservative to just buy people houses because then you wash your hands, you're done and done. Once you buy them a house, as liberal as it might be, it turns out to be fiscally conservative. So your taxes would have to go down. A universal basic income, crime would plummet overnight when nobody was living unnecessarily in financial fear. Do you understand? All those jobs that are relevant now wouldn't be explaining these things to people better than I am. But it's all math, so nobody can argue it. You understand? That it's horrible. It's just how they've done this and how slowly, and they've dragged this thing on and on and on. It's still going on. They're going to blame minimum wage workers for inflation. I'm thinking, really? Really? You see what I mean? I mean, that's got to be obvious to everybody. Look, it's tit for tat. And what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, we could debate that, but when it comes to the cost of living, that went up first, and that was the reason, that was what required a pay adjustment because your cost of living went up. So just to stay even Steven, if you don't get a cost of living adjustment, if you don't get a pay increase, a raise, then for all intents and purposes, mathematically speaking, you just got a pay decrease. Am I right? If you can't buy as much with the same amount of money, the same income you're getting, or even if it just goes up a little bit, it's not nearly enough to make up for the increase in your cost of living. You see how immoral that is, unethical and wrong, and how that's key to understanding why you got all these problems in society and all these jobs that revolve around the problem persisting, and what a threat it is to get rid of desperate poverty, what a threat that is to the establishmentarians to have a universal basic income where nobody has to live unnecessarily in financial fear from birth. You understand? What a threat that is to the evildoers, to the satanic powers. But yet multi-billionaires are getting it because they say, well, look, you're going to have a kinder, safer, gentler society. We'll put a dollars and cents price tag on that. Commuter traffic on the LA freeways, Bay Area freeways is going to plummet overnight. Put a price on that, dollars and cents. Abortion's all you people that claim to be against abortion, but you're against a basic universal income. But you understand the correlation between a woman's decision to have an abortion and her financial situation. So if you make sure that she's financially well-heeled, she doesn't have to worry about taking care of her baby, your child. You understand how of course, abortions are going to plummet. So we're not having this conversation, though. I'm having it by myself. See why I do this series of videos? Because I talk like I don't hear anybody else talking and pointing out these very succinct truths to help you understand you're living in unreality that you've been conditioned and programmed to accept. And it's evil. It's satanic. Okay? You've got to withdraw. You've got to recoil. You got to divest. You got to repent or perish. You can't be a little bit in, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of this thing, man. You've got to get it. God is our only hope for salvation. Turn to God for help. Understand, this is crazy, man. This whole scene is a satanic nightmare. That's all it is. That's what we're all contending with. And you've got to help other people to contend with it. Okay? That is where your safety and your security, your peace of mind, your comfort, your encouragement, your coping mechanisms are going to come from, is from sharing with others, empowering others with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Pull them out of Babylon. Pull them out of confusion from the deception that they have allowed themselves to indulge in. That ignorance is bliss philosophy, to say, hey, you know what, I can't deal with it. It just hurts my head. It's overwhelming problems, social problems, and maybe you should be a politician and fix it. It doesn't work that way. We're in it deep. This is taking God, working through human beings that are willing to stick their neck on the line, that are willing to be brave and courageous, and to the point of death, we got to stand, just like Martin Luther King Jr. That's what I'm talking about here. Another guy that called for a basic universal income. You got to get it. How to thwart these a-holes at the top, these evil-doing, some of them self-professed Satanists, Luciferians. Okay, that's who's at the top of this thing. You think it's all just good, get your good education, be successful and make a lot of money and be somebody with your credentials and your status and all that. You know what? What do you think that means to God? What do you think it really means to man? It's nothing. This is an unreality. It's a bunch of bull. It's a bunch of baloney. It's fake. It's pseudo. It's phony. Okay, divest. Get the hell out of this thing, man, and tell others to do it too. And that's just how I cope with it. Sure, I beat myself up sometimes. Believe me, I want to metaphorically slash my wrists 6 ways to Sunday, because I hate unnecessary human suffering. I pour my heart out to God. I wish everybody on the face of this earth had it a little better than me. That's when I could enjoy having it a little better. That if everybody on earth was a little more prosperous than me, felt a little more financially free than me, felt a little more financially secure than me, then and only then could I personally enjoy more. Okay? That's how I feel. I'm hardcore, man, and I tell you what, I get it. And I want you to get it. I want everybody to get it. And if everybody get it and they treated money and wealth as a hot potato, and they said, yeah, I don't want to hang on to this stuff. I mean, my judgment day for me might come today. I don't know when my last day on earth is. So, anyhow, the solution is empowering and clarity of thought, coming out of confusion and empowering others. And working together here, friends. Oh, boy. As usual, I'm running behind here, but I'm going to try to get into some recent current events, what's going on in the news, and comment on it. And I got some talking points. Yeah, I had a couple of corrections here. I mentioned that my mother's parents were Dalmatian immigrants. It wasn't my mom. I said at one point my mom. My mom was not born in Dalmatia. Her parents were. She was born and raised in East LA and spoke fluent Spanish. She had a Mediterranean complexion. I say she looked kind of Latina. And also, I talked about how God saw in the beginning that it wasn't good that man was alone, and so he created the woman to be a suitable helper for us. I don't know what the details of that are, okay? I don't know that there was homosexuality. I don't know that there wasn't. I don't know a lot of things, okay? But only God knows. I do know this, that I looked up the statistics on hermaphrodites. Plants are often male and female. But about one out of every 2,000 people has both male and female genitalia. I was surprised to hear it was that common, but it's true. So, I don't condemn anybody. For that kind of stuff, I just don't. I just think that's kind of like the chaff that's going. All the besetting sin and all that stuff. I don't think it's a big issue. The big issue is having a pure heart. Wanting the best for everybody, wanting everybody to be free. Logically speaking, you just want all the same things you want for yourself and your family, all those niceties, the creature comforts and all that kind of stuff, the level of prosperity and financial freedom and financial security. If you want that for everybody, okay, that's good. That's a pure heart. Okay, that's a good thing. That's very important. And to be idealistic and say, well, you don't stop anywhere. You never reach a plateau. We're forever growing and evolving. and we're shooting for a paradise, a perfect world where there are no problems, there are no issues, nothing negative there. That's what we're shooting for, friends. Yeah, I misspeak sometimes. I read, that came out stupid. It came out wrong. It's like, that wasn't what I was trying to say. So please forgive me. When you catch me doing that, know that uh, I'm a good guy. And I want to be a puppy dog among men. And I know this much, is that I'm going to need to find my beloved. And I can't stop. I can't stop looking and seeking until I find my beloved.